Coming up next, the 3 questions that job quitters should ask, and work flexibility may be a boon for night owls. I'll reveal the top 5 cities with the hottest job markets, and you know I'm going to coach you up. Let's go. All right, folks, welcome to the Ken Coleman Show, where I coach you up to have the edge, the competitive edge, to make more money and more impact. Because life is too short to just be kind of going through the motions as it relates to work. So quitting. This is the theme. People are quitting jobs, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. They are quitting at record numbers. It's unbelievable. And you've heard me talk about it, but let's just talk about questions that potential job quitters should ask. Because I want you to be equipped to quit. Quitting's not bad. Quitting doesn't make you a loser or a flake. And many of you need to quit. So here's some questions that you should be asking. Am I in the right role, but the wrong company? Am I in the right role, but the wrong company? So we unpack this. And we look at, okay, the reasons that I want to quit. And by the way, it would be very good as we wrestle with these questions. Before we wrestle with these questions, let me take just a step back for a second. And I assume that you can articulate to yourself why you want to quit. But maybe you haven't. Maybe you just have a feeling. And so it is important to start with, okay, what are the specific reasons? Maybe it's my emotional feelings. Maybe there's some actual specific situations that continue to happen, whatever it is. What are the reasons that you can identify or articulate for yourself as to why you want to quit? All right, so that's important. Now, back to the 3 questions. Am I in the right role but the wrong company? So now that you know your reasons for feeling as though you want to quit, because we haven't determined yet that you should quit. That's why we have these 3 questions. So the first question is, am I in the right role but the wrong company? Now, what does that mean? Well, let's just go with the simple metaphor that we use regularly on the show, and let's just look at a job as being a seat on a bus. So your job is the seat on the bus is your company. And so if you look at the reasons why you think you might want to quit, or the reasons you know you want to quit, now you could say, is it the job, the role, meaning the seat, is that right? Because if it is, we go, oh, so it's culture related, not job related. So it's not the seat on the bus, it's the bus. That's what we're looking at. So the question, am I in the right role but the wrong company, allows me to go, okay, I look at the seat on the bus, the role. No, that feels right. Because all the reasons I want to quit are not related necessarily to the actual function of the job, but the environment in which I am doing the job. So now you go, I'm in the right role, but I'm in the wrong company. That's what we're looking at. We want to be able to identify what is the source of the frustration and the tension. Second question, am I in the wrong role, but in the right company? So now we look at this and we go, wait a second, is it for me that I love the culture, I love the environment, I love the company, I love the leaders, I love it too. It's a really wonderful place to work. But what's off is I'm on the wrong seat of the bus. Now, little call out here. Some of you lack patience. And boy, do I know what that feels like. Well, I may be the most impatient person on the planet, so I'm calling myself out here. So remember, many times I'll tell you that it's important in order to get into that dream job that you just get in the arena, you get in the company, you get on the ladder, knowing we've got to climb. So for those of you that are going, I feel like I want to quit, and you are feeling like, this question, I'm in the wrong role with the right company. Wait a second, slow your roll, Sparky. You took this job knowing that you were getting on the ladder and you would have to climb into the ultimate role. So this is not a reason to quit because you're impatient. For someone asking this question, you feel something's off. If you don't see a ladder, you're not even close to the right arena, but you just took the job because it was a job, but you just happen to love the company. Now, this is what we're talking about. But for those of you who you intentionally are in the right place, good company, but you have to grow into that dream role, well, though you don't quit, you be patient. Third question, am I in the wrong role and in the wrong company? Well, this is where it's just straight up, right? You just know. I'm not on the right seat of the bus, and I'm not even on the right bus. So this third question, this is the one where as we answer this, it becomes extremely clear what we're doing, right? Okay, well, I'm starting to look now. I got to move on because I'm in the wrong role in the wrong company. But those first two, am I in the right role, wrong company? What do we do with that? Okay, now I'm in the right role, so right seat of the bus, wrong company. So now I'm going, okay, what's missing about my bus? What do I want the bus to be? Or in other words, what do I want the ride on a bus to feel like? And so we go, okay, we know it's the right role. So I'm now looking for that role or a very similar role, but in a company that has a much better culture, and we know what we don't want and we know what we want. So now we can look for it. Second question, am I in the wrong role, right company? So now we go, okay, wait a second. Am I just dealing with impatience as I laid out? Or is it actually not an impatience thing? I'm just not a good fit here. So what do I do here? Well, I love the company, so I want to start by going, well, since I love the company and the environment, let's just see, what does the right seat on the bus look like for me? Does it exist? If it does exist, how do I go about getting in that seat within the company? Got to do it smart. Can't just be bull in a china shop. You got to identify it, figure out what are the qualifications maybe that you need or the conversations you need to have to be able to become a viable candidate for it. And then we got to do it right within leadership. We've got, maybe you have one leader you report to here, but to move over here, you would have to give this leader, they got to work together. There's some good old fashioned sensitivity and politics, if you will, in order to do that. So why do I give you these three questions? Because I think you could quit the wrong way. Just like you could start out on a trip the wrong way. I mean, it would be pretty foolish for me to tell the kids and Stacy, hey, gang, I wake them up early Saturday morning and I say, hey, we're going on a road trip. And they go, where we're going? And I go, we're going to this city. And Stacy goes, how long is it going to take to get there? I don't know. Which way are we going? I don't know. Now, in our world today, it's almost impossible not to do that. It would just be absolutely, ridiculously stupid to take off on a trip because now we got the phones, we punch in the city, and it's going to give us multiple ways to get there. But in the old days, you pulled out an atlas. But you wouldn't start on a cross-country trip without mapping out a route. This is the idea. If I'm going to quit, before I decide to quit, I want to make sure that I'm supposed to quit. Maybe I need to figure out where I'm going to quit. Right? Should I quit? Where do I quit to? I'm not just quitting and going home and taking my toys with me. These three questions. Am I in the right role, the wrong company? Wrong role, right company, wrong role, wrong company. The Should I Quit My Job quiz is free. Go to KenColeman.com quiz. KenColeman.com/quiz. It'll help you.
You were created to fill a unique role in this world, but figuring out what that is can feel overwhelming. That's why we created the Get Clear Career Assessment. In less than 15 minutes, you'll get customized results that clarify and verify what you do best, the work you love, and the results you want to produce. You'll even get a list of professional possibilities to help you jumpstart the job search. To get started, go to KenColeman.com/assessment.
Welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show, where we help you get the competitive edge to make more money and make more impact. Money and meaning. I'm your coach to help you make more of it. Going to get to a couple stories here that I think are very interesting that you need to know. But First, an announcement, and second, an observation. The YouTube crazies are feeling spicy today, and I'm going to have to deal with them momentarily. But first of all, very excited about our career coaching. You know, I realized about 2 years ago, as the show began to evolve and grow, that there's a tremendous need for what I do, this coaching, but I am limited in 5 to 6 minutes with you. Well, what if I had a stable, an army that supports me, that are wildly qualified, even more experienced than I am, to coach you folks? And so we've assembled a world-class all-star team, and we are piloting a program. It's called Ramsey Career Coaching, where you will get to meet with a really, really experienced and certified coach. These aren't people who are unemployed who just became coaches. This is their full-time business, and they're rock stars. We're limiting this to 30 participants. So if you'd like to kick the tires, get involved, ask questions, or sign up, kencoleman.com/coaching. That's kencoleman.com/coaching. Okay, couple of YouTube crazies that are watching live, and they're in the chat room. And Grant Lowry is a guy that really enjoys observing everything that I do, whether it be on social, in the studio. And so Grant thinks he's funny. And I'm giving Grant a shout out because he's a fun guy. And I actually made the same joke that Grant made earlier today. So I thought, well, I'm going to call this out. So Grant says, I thought it was the UPS man in the intro because I'm wearing a very distinguished chocolate polo shirt. And so then people are like, oh, Grant's funny. Ha, 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 ha. And then somebody said, wonder if he's wearing khakis or Ken will never wear that shirt again or something about the khaki pants. And Milkucci said, especially if he's wearing khaki pants. So the question is for our viewing audience, I know our listening audience is going, what is happening right now? Am I wearing khaki pants? What say you, chat room? Go ahead and vote on it. And at the end of this segment, I'm going to stand up, Alex, and I'm going to reveal, am I wearing khaki pants or not to go with the brown shirt? Everybody's got jokes. You live chat room folks, you can vote on it. Yes or no? Am I wearing khaki pants? I will reveal it at the end of the segment. But first, some important stories to get to. We call it In the News. Okay, now this is really interesting stuff for you night owls out there. You night owls that love to stay up late and sleep in. And, you know, it's always been hard for you to keep up the normal 9 to 5 traditional schedule of your 8:30 to 5:30 type situation. Okay? So this is the headline from U.S. News and World Report, Losing Sleep Over the Pandemic. Work flexibility may be a boon, a benefit for night owls. So scientists have now figured it out through a study. We'll break it down. That people who love to stay up late or stay up late naturally could improve their mental and physical health by taking a remote job that will allow them to work when they are at their best, which is late at night. The research shows that night owls obviously are hardwired. It's just how they're made up, and they sleep later as a result of staying up later. Kelly Barron is associate professor of the University of Utah, says in this article that poor sleep is a driver of worker absenteeism and use of sick day. We would get better performance out of employees if they were allowed to work at their best working time. Researchers in Italy dove into this question specifically. In a recent study, they found that many Italians who don't typically fit into the traditional daylight timetable thrived, and their health improved when the pandemic's remote working conditions allowed them to work later hours. So I share this story because I talk a lot on the show about, obviously, you have a unique makeup. Talent, what you do best. Passion, work that you love. Mission, results that really matter deeply to you. And then, of course, we all know about personality types, whether you subscribe to DISC or Myers-Briggs or Enneagram. Like, we all know we've got a different kind of combination of our personality traits. But then it occurred to me, well, this also makes sense. There are just some people. I've got a good friend who's a best-selling author, very successful psychologist and researcher. And the guy, as long as I've known him, stays up till 3 in the morning. And he sleeps till about 12. And so his day starts at about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's his routine. He's very successful financially, very productive. Well, because he works for himself, has the flexibility to do that. So I thought this was important to point out that I think one of the very positive things that will come out of remote work and flexibility is that there are just some people who are wired differently physically as it relates to their sleep. And this could be a win for them. And I think this is great. And I think leaders, you need to pay attention to this. If you already are open to remote work or flexible work, and you got some candidates, I'd be asking, are you a night person? You a daytime? I mean, if you're open to remote work, leaders, or those of you who want to stay in remote work, I think you got to bring this up. I think you got to go, look, I'm a night person. Go pull the studies. Italian study on sleep and those who are night owls and how it affects their work. I would really lean into this is my point, because this is a unique characteristic that is as relevant as your personality style, your type, your talent. I mean, you're wired this way. And I think if you can hone this in, and again, as remote work continues to become the norm, hybrid work, if companies are flexible in the time you work, I think you got to lean into this. Because think about if you don't lean into this, how frustrated you've been throughout your work life, how tired you've been. I actually love this. I think this is great. I love that the study has happened. And so I hope that helps some of you night owls out there as you navigate your best work. All right, next. Smaller cities are making for hotter job markets. Why? This is a Forbes article. So what are the top 5 hot job markets? I'll break these down, but we'll list them quickly. Austin, Nashville, Raleigh, Salt Lake, Jacksonville. So what are the commonalities? Well, look at Austin. Thriving tech hub, vibrant music scene, lots of great outdoor life, great year-round climate. Oh, by the way, no state income tax. Watch for the pattern, folks. Nashville, Tennessee, number 2. Nashville is a great place for music and entertainment. Unemployment, just 2.4%. And Tennessee doesn't have an individual income tax. Healthcare, banking, and finance industry is hot. Raleigh, trade, transportation, utilities, finance, tech hub for Google and Apple. North Carolina does have a state income tax rate that's only 5.25%. Salt Lake, tech and IT, booming. Low state income tax, 4.95%. Jacksonville, Florida, jumped into the top 5 for the first time. Logistics hub, seaport, 2 major interstates, great rail and air connections, good for business, good for traveling. Beach all the time. No state income tax in Florida. No surprise, folks. So if you want to get to a job market that's hot, move your business to a job area that's hot, you got to pay attention. All right, here's the reveal for the YouTube crazies. Brown polo. Do I have the khaki pants on to pull it off? Where's my drum roll? Here it is. Oh, it's not working. Drum roll sound effect's not working. So here we go. Here it is, folks. Tied it all in with the brown classics, the Sperry topsiders. Eat your heart out, YouTube crazies. Recruiters take an average of 6 seconds to scan a resume, and that's if they ever see it in the first place. In fact, 75% of resumes are rejected before reaching a hiring manager. Listen, folks, if you want to get hired, you've got to make sure your resume is getting noticed. That's why we created How to Write the Perfect Resume. This free guide will walk you through the 5 steps to stand out in the hiring process and land your dream job. To get started, go to kencoleman.com/resume. All right, folks, welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show, helping you win in your work and in your life. How do we do that? Number one, we want to make sure that you're doing the right work so you see your unique contribution. Number two, we want to make sure you're doing it in the right environment. And all that turns into, number three, more money and more meaning for you. The job search can be long and nasty, even though this is a hot job market. And we want to help you with the process, getting connected to the right people, the right places. We are here for you. 844-747-2577. Ask at kencoleman.com if you want to email the show. The calls we love are those that are stuck, feeling like, I can't think so much about the future. I want to be thinking about the now, Ken, because I feel that I am stuck. So there you go. Donnie's up next in Jersey City, New Jersey. Donnie, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Thanks for having me, Ken. I'll try to keep it short. My biggest problem right now is I'm really afraid to get another job. I've got this crippling perfectionism.
Yeah.
I lost my last job in 2020.
What happened?
I've been working this government job for about 2.5 years in Jersey. My heart was never in the place.
Sure.
I tried to pick up some new skills on the side, but I couldn't really make anything happen. And I came to work the day after Christmas 2019, and I just had a nervous breakdown because I thought to myself I was going to be out of here by now, but I broke a window by accident, ended up on leave, even had a trip to the psych ward after.
Oh, man.
Long story short, in August 2020, they let me go unceremoniously, and I got lucky with my Dogecoin investments in 2021, but my mom passed this year, and I just have this shame of...
What are you ashamed of? What are you ashamed of?
When I don't know something or when I fail, like, it just wrecks me inside. I mean...
Yeah. Where's that come from? That doesn't just happen. That comes from something in your life.
A lot of things. My mom was a little bit abusive. She was a teacher in a crummy inner city district, so she was real hard on my brother and I. That made us do well on average, but whenever I failed at something, crashed the car, I always took it personal.
Okay.
And even coming out of college, I have an MBA, but I never ended up in a big corporate job or big tech or in a startup like
nothing
a lot
sexy,
of my peers,
and you feel like you let your mom down, and then on top of letting her down, she passes away before you can make good on your desire to finally impress mom and say, "See, mom, I did good."
Well, not just impressing her, but that is a big part of it. I let her down. I let myself down. I mean,
well, no, you didn't. Time out. Let's just be real. A huge part of this is your mom. And then in feeling though you disappointed your mom, you've disappointed yourself. But you didn't let yourself down. You've been trying to live through a narrative that is false. Not only is it false, it's harmful. And the narrative, you could probably put different words on it, but the theme of the narrative that I hear is that you're not enough. Sound about right?
Yeah. I always did measure my self-worth from results.
Yeah, but you got your worth. You created a measurement system of worth based on your mom's verbal abuse of you and her constant disappointment. That's all you heard. That's all you saw was that mom is disappointed in me. I'm a big, giant disappointment is the progression. If mom's always disappointed, or maybe she wasn't always disappointed, but the most of the time she was, or the most poignant moments in your relationship felt like it was all about mom being disappointed. Does that sound right?
More often than not, yeah.
Yeah, so here's the deal. The natural narrative for any person is to believe that they are, in fact, a disappointment. And it starts with, I am a disappointment for my mom. And now, after I soak in that long enough, I go, I'm a disappointment to myself. And it's almost impossible to thrive, to spread your wings and fly, when that is the narrative that you believe about yourself. So you being able to figure out your role in life as it relates to work, purposeful work, that will take care of itself. But you're going to have to get to a point through healing and counseling. I really recommend therapy for you.
I've actually been to at least 20 different therapists in the last 9 years.
Why 20 in 9 years?
Different counselors in school, and I'd go to different ones.
Yeah, but what is keeping you from logging into one that you trust and then locking in and doing the hard...
I don't think it was so much about finding a right therapist. It was living a better life. It wasn't just about jobs and my mom.
I know that.
I guess I just don't trust most of the therapists that I've met, because you tell a therapist you have problems, they don't bring up attachment or accomplishment or loneliness. They just push drugs.
Yeah, well, that is harmful. And you're absolutely spot on. So if you don't want to try a therapist, then how about a pastor? How about finding a church? And even if you don't believe much about God, the Bible, or whatever, you got to find somebody. First of all, I don't know, I guess my personal experiences have somewhat hardened me against God. Okay, Donnie, I get that.
I mean,
but listen to me, Donnie.
I never believed in...
Donnie, listen to me. I totally understand. But do you believe you have some talent buried underneath all this pain and frustration? Do you believe that you were born with talent? That's something that came easy to you? Yes or no?
Yes.
Do you believe that whether you've experienced it or not, that somewhere out there is a task, a job, a role that you would enjoy using that talent you have, and you would actually enjoy doing it? Do you believe that?
Yes.
Do you believe that there are results that if you produced through that talent, through that work you love, that if you saw those results, no matter what mama said to you, what anybody else has said to you, you would drive home on the way home and you would say, you know what, that was a good day. I did something good, made something good, did something good for somebody in this world. Do you believe that's possible? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't need a therapist or a pastor to tell you that. You've been burned on both of those areas, so I'm going to redirect. Because I also believe that if you believe those three things about yourself, you believe that you are unique and that there is uniqueness in you, which means there is greatness in you. And we need to find that work to where your soul is lit up on the way into work, because you know you're going to spend most of your day doing something you're good at. And you're going to spend most of your day doing something you enjoy. And that work is going to create a result that you say, I am proud of that. The fact that you told me you believe that tells me you can find that. And I'm going to help you. So the first thing I want you to do is trust me to help you discover those three elements and then work that will allow you to do that. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I want you to hang on, and I'm going to give you a link to my Get Clear Career Assessment, which will give you the clearest report you've ever seen on yourself. What you do really well, talent, the work that you enjoy, passion, and the results that you want to contribute to this world, that's mission. When those three are in alignment, talent plus passion plus mission, you are on purpose. And you will be able to see jobs and career paths you never saw before. You'll be able to get those jobs that you could never get before. And you will win in those jobs like you've never won before. You'll make more money than you ever made before and more impact. And you will overcome this idea that you are a disappointment.
We're created to fill a unique role in and through your work. Now, some of you may be going, I have no idea what that is. Some of you may be saying,
I know what I want to do, but I don't know how to get there. I felt all of those emotions. I've been where you are, and I can tell you, there's hope. That's why I wrote the book, From Paycheck to Purpose. You can make the income you want and the impact that you desire. And I know that you have what it takes.
Welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show, where we help you discover and do what you were born to do, making more money and more impact than you ever dreamed that you could make. I want to point out that last call, that's heavy stuff. It's really heavy. And there are some times that the only thing that we can do is begin to just drown out all the voices, including our own, and see ourselves as the creator of the universe sees us, which is uniquely and wonderfully made. And I really believe if you can identify talent, what you're good at, passion, work you love to do, and mission, the results that you want to put in this world, you can overcome anything that's been said to you and done to you. I really believe that, because you are worth it. You are worthy. You are enough to make this world a better place. Robert's up next in Boise, Idaho. Robert, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hello, Mr. Coleman. Thank you for taking my call. I appreciate it.
You bet, Robert. Thanks for calling. How can I help today?
I'll try to be as quick to the point as I can.
Okay.
I have several health issues, and I've only ever worked in manufacturing, and so I'm looking at shifting out of manufacturing into something else. And so I've been taking my resume into different businesses to get noticed by employers. And I also have something called Asperger's syndrome.
Sure.
And this makes it difficult to know what to say to people.
Sure.
And to carry on conversations. And so I have a feeling that this might not look very well to employers when I give them my resume. And so I want to ask you, how do I get into a new career field with this disability? And have you ever dealt with someone in my situation? What would your recommendation be for them?
Yeah, I have.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I've coached people. In fact, I did an extensive coaching season with a young man, 35, 36 years of age, that has Asperger's. I will tell you the difference between him and you is that he was not gainfully employed. And it had kept him, and I'm sure you are uniquely aware of what he was dealing with. It kept him from kind of staying employed and getting anything long term. He was largely just fearful of how, his Asperger's syndrome would manifest itself, and yet he was quite talented. What I'm impressed with you, Robert, is that you've been in manufacturing for quite a while, and have certainly been successful enough to hold the job. So I'll turn this on you because I'm curious to know, how did you overcome Asperger's and some of the social stuff that you deal with to get the job and keep the job in manufacturing? How'd you do it?
Well, that is in large part to my parents. They've arranged these jobs for me.
Great.
But ultimately, I would like to get a career that I enjoy so I can move forward and accomplish my personal and professional goals.
Good.
Because
So
I don't think manufacturing is for me.
Okay, good. So what would be, let's just remove all obstacles. I want you to dream for a second. What would be that job, that role that would allow you to achieve your goals and dreams? Forget Asperger's for a moment. If you could snap your fingers today and I could make a phone call and make it happen, what would you be doing?
Well,
don't worry about the position. Don't worry about the name of the title of the position. Just tell me what the work would look like.
I guess I would like to be working with other people who are goal-oriented and driven, and who want to accomplish great things in life.
Yeah, but what type of work? So let me give an example. Would it be people-based work? Would it be process type work, details, organization, processes? Would it be idea type work where it's content or artistic? And then the final piece is things type work. And what I mean by that is you're working with your hands, mechanical or construction type work. Of those 4 categories, what appeals to you, knowing that you're good at it and you enjoy it?
Probably something where I can create something that makes a large impact on society.
Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to make a list of the things that you could create. What type of things are we talking about? Your first step is, what are those things? And then who else is creating them and what qualifications do I need? Hang on the line. We're going to connect.
Do you know what you were born to do? In order to get hired at a job you love, you need to get clear on your talent, passion, and mission. That's why our team created the Career Clarity Guide. In just a few minutes, this free tool will walk you through a process to discover what you do best: talent, the work you love to do, passion, and the results you want your work to produce. That's mission. Then you're going to feel way more confident throughout the job search process. To get started, go now to kencoleman.com/clarity.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show. Thrilled that you are with us, helping you get the competitive edge to make more money and more impact in your work. By the way, you're doing that, you got a much better personal life as well. I guarantee it. I absolutely guarantee it. And one of the ways to make sure that you are seeing all the possibilities out there as to what could be as it relates to a job and a career path is to use my friends at ZipRecruiter. It's a free service to you. They're one of the top job sites in the world. They've got companies that pay them for access to talent. That's you. That means it's free for you. But it's not just a free service. You take just minutes at ZipRecruiter.com. ZipRecruiter.com, and you fill out a profile, and then they immediately begin matching your profile up to companies that have jobs that fit your profile. And so then they tell these companies, X, Y, Z, A, B, C, hey, you got to look into this person. Company says, yep, we want to interview them. Zip connects you directly to them. And you can submit your resume with one click. So their artificial intelligence makes it easy for you, and you can live your life and not feel like you're having to send out 50, 75 resumes a day. ZipRecruiter.com. Go. All right, Marina is on the line in Orlando, Florida. Marina, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You bet. How can I help?
So, question, I have been in corporate finance for over 14 years, and I don't love it, but I love many things outside of it, like the schedule, the autonomy, the pay. But I've been wondering about switching careers, and how would you update your resume for something that doesn't quite fit the background?
Okay.
The jump I'm hoping to go to possibly is elementary teaching. I'm not sure how to correlate that with corporate finance.
Okay, great. You answered my question, so I didn't have to ask you my first question. This is great. So we've got corporate finance, and I'm actually going to do this with you. So
Okay.
on my moleskin right here, I've got my pencil in hand, and I put in corporate finance on the left side of the page. And I'm going to draw a line down the middle, and I'm going to go elementary education on the right side, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we want to go from corporate finance to elementary education. And you're worried about what to put on your resume. And I get that.
Yes.
So let's start with, do you have in hand now the qualifications necessary to get hired as an elementary school teacher?
I do.
Great. So those are going on the resume, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're actually qualified. Okay. So now the problem in your mind is you have no elementary school education teaching experience. Not necessarily a problem. The first reason is because teachers are leaving schools in droves.
Correct.
So a person who is qualified to teach is going to be very attractive. Yes or no, Marina?
Yes.
All right, great. So here's what we want to do. We're going to focus on in your resume, and I want you to go to kencoleman.com and get the resume guide if you haven't already. It's free.
Yep.
Okay. And it walks you through how to do all this in much more detail. But I've always taught that because I have seen the data over and over again that hiring managers, even in education, spend about 7.5 seconds scanning a person's resume.
Okay.
And what does that tell you? That it's not so much
time.
you don't have as much time to make an impression, but it's also less about the resume than you think it is. Okay? If the data said that they spent 70 minutes poring over your resume, then I'd be more concerned. So what we want to do is we want to draw out the relevance of your corporate finance work, your specialization as it relates to your skill and your experience. Those are our two categories.
Okay.
From your time in corporate finance that are transferable to the classroom. Am I still making sense?
Yes.
Great. So on my sheet of paper we go, because this is what I would want you to do, and I'm going to start you out. So let's just talk about skills. What skills from your previous work experience up to this very moment are very transferable to being an elementary school teacher? Go. I'm going to write them down.
Organization.
Okay.
Deliverables.
Execution, I'm going to call that. Okay. What else?
Not sure how to word it, but like a self-starter, motivating.
Okay.
Take the initiative.
Good. What else?
Minimal direction, leadership.
So you've led people.
Yes.
Yeah, leadership. Let's just call that leadership. Okay. I'm going to call the other one driven. So I've got organization, execution, leadership, driven. It's wonderful. I think you're missing one key element to what you did. What was your position in corporate finance? What is it? What are you doing?
Forecasting, budgeting.
Yeah, and who do you forecast these budgets to?
Like upper management.
Uh-huh. And you're leading a team of people, yes?
Not always, but I have.
You have. So my guess is you're pretty darn good at communication.
Oh, there you go. Yes, normally. Apparently not right now.
Well, you're live on the air. It's a pressure-filled situation. You get a pass, right?
Thank you.
I'm coaching you right now. You don't have to sound eloquent. But you see where I'm going here?
I do, yes.
So in your resume, you are going to highlight what I've done is one of the headings we use. And this is where you highlight not so much the job description, but the specifics that you delivered in the job. I have years of experience with organization. Specifically, I had to accumulate budgets, research, organize, communicate about these budgets. Well, that's what a teacher does. They research, they organize, they communicate. I feel like you're wildly qualified. I also think what's interesting about you is that you had to take a bunch of minutia. Stop me when I start to say anything wrong, and I mean it. You had to take a bunch of minutia in the form of numbers and patterns, and you had to distill it down to a simplified message that a doofus executive above you would be able to understand and communicate as well.
Yes, that's correct.
Feels like teaching to me.
When you put it that way, yes, it does.
All right, how are we feeling right now?
I mean, I'm nervous. It's a huge jump, and like you said, a lot of people are leaving teaching in droves.
Yeah, wait.
Wait.
You went negative.
Yes.
You went negative.
I did. Well, yes, because I'm an analyst, so I look at everything.
I know. I want you to stop analyzing and start feeling. How about we turn the brain off for just the next minute, and I want you to answer me with your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Possible? Yes.
Yes.
Turn your brain off and answer with your heart. What is drawing you to the elementary classroom?
Making a difference in schools today.
Yeah.
With our kids.
What kind of impact do you want to make on the lives of young people?
I want to show them that, they can do anything they want to do. This is still America. We still can dream and achieve, and
yeah.
What
would cause you to fail miserably in this role? Don't you dare think where you started thinking. I want you to answer this quickly. What would you have to do on purpose to fail in this role?
Gosh, thinking quickly, nothing. I mean,
yes. So stop analyzing and overanalyzing. There's no evidence that you're going to fail as a teacher. You would have to intentionally do something stupid. I'm not talking to a stupid woman. I'm talking to a bright, accomplished, professional woman who has a heart for the next generation. There ain't no stopping Marina unless Marina stops herself.
This is very true.
We're done here, Marina. Go to KenColeman.com. Well, no, you are. Go to KenColeman.com. Get the resume guide for free. Do exactly what I tell you to do. And then go love on some young people. You are a rock star. The rest of you, you matter. You have what it takes. Press on.
Thanks for listening to The Ken Coleman Show. For more, you can find the show on demand wherever you listen to podcasts and watch the show on YouTube. You can also find Ken across all social media by following @Ken Coleman.